Now, this is only the second video I've made on this issue, but there's been far more that have happened than just the two that I've covered. A member of the Latin Kings decided that they were going to post a bounty on the head of the dude that was in charge of the Chicago Border Patrol area. Now, this is what's happening in this country right now. This dude is a legal alien, Latin Kings leader, but now they are saying, hey, he hadn't committed any crimes. Bull. He had committed crimes in this country. It's just that he hadn't been caught. He probably, if done correctly, could have been busted for RICO if somebody had gone after the Latin Kings like they went after the Italian mafia folks in this country. Hey, we'd have taken them out a while ago. But no, we let this dude stay in this country for 30 years and run a very violent gang that I have heard nothing but bad things about. I have heard from people that have had dealings with Latin Kings. So now they're posting that they want to take out Border Patrol. Why? Because this is what happens in Mexico, it happens in Central American countries, it happens in South American countries. This is how they deal with law enforcement. Because they think if they can scare law enforcement, which, hey, that wins in a lot of places, then they can start back to winning again. They can get back on their path of making profits off of the drugs, human trafficking, and all the other nasty things that they do. This is what illegal immigration is. But let's get into the story. By the way, if you want to know what's going on federal, state, or local level government, I'm going to cover it as best I can. I'm going to find the stories that I can. I'm going to make sure that you know what all is going on. Why? Because people need to know what's going on. It is getting ridiculous out there. I find it really funny though that people are starting to say, "Oh, it's lies from and all this stuff." No, it's not lies. You can look up everything that I put out here. Sometimes I even put links. I'm not going to put a link on this because it's not that long of an article. But hit like, hit subscribe, and let's get into this story.
Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself.
Now, this is coming from Fox News. It's via Yahoo that I found this. An alleged Chicago gang leader living in the United States illegally and accused of soliciting the murder of a high-ranking U.S. Border Patrol commander has been indicted by a federal grand jury. Juan Espinoza Martinez, 37, is charged with single count of murder for hire over an alleged bounty placed on U.S. Border Patrol Chief Gregory Movino, the commander at large. An indictment states that Martinez, a Mexican citizen, knowingly used a facility of interstate commerce, namely an Apple Model 16 cellular telephone and Snapchat, with intent that a murder be committed. He was arrested this week and remains in federal custody. According to a criminal complaint, Martinez is a ranking member of the Latin Kings, a gang notorious for violent crimes and drug trafficking across Chicago and other cities. DHS said Martinez is from Mexico and entered the U.S. illegally at an unknown date and time. He allegedly sent messages via Snapchat that read 2K on information when you get them and 10K if you take them down, the complaint states. In the exchange, Martinez used the handle Monkeys and the name Juan, federal prosecutors said. The message included a photo of senior Border Patrol officer involved in immigration enforcement operations in Chicago as part of the U.S. Customs and Border Protection's Operation Midway Blitz. Martinez's lawyer, Jonathan Betty, said last week that his client was a longtime Chicago resident and father of three who was innocent of the charge against him. Wow. This is going to be another one of them Kilmar or Brago situations. Juan has resided in the United States for 30 years. Throughout his time in Chicago, he has had no prior criminal history or gang affiliation. Like I said, another Kilmar Brago situation, Betty said. As a dedicated union member, Juan has consistently worked to provide for his family while contributing positively to the community, and he even coaches his kids' sports teams. I'm not even going to read the last paragraph of that lie. But yeah, this is what's going on. And here's my question. He's been a union member and an illegal alien. Think about that for a minute. Unions are so stuck with the folks that are Democrat. This is who they're representing. This is who they're willing to have in here. A person that's been in this country illegally for 30 years. That's what a union member is for them. They want this person as a union member. Think about that for a minute. Now, I'm sure that you're going to hear all kinds of lies coming in a la Kilmore Abrego. You know that's how the Democrats going to operate. Oh, he's a father of three and he's had no criminal background. Of course not. But I bet if you go digging through with RICO charges and start busting through Latin Kings that way, you'll all of a sudden find a whole lot of people willing to talk because it goes from, oh, a few years in jail with slaps on the wrist to you're going to be in prison for 50 to 100 years minimum. But that's what's going on. That's Chicago. Now, here's something that I want to know. How are when are the Democrats going to start making this guy their new poster child? Because you know they are. Oh, he's a father, and he's been here for 30 years. Okay, so that puts him getting here, what, about the time of Bill Clinton and his little thing. Plus, he's most likely known, there's probably all kinds of documentation that he's Latin King, so nobody's busted him. What's going on in Chicago? This is what I want to know. Why haven't we've got this RICO thing that did so much damage to Cosa Nostra? Why hasn't it been used on groups like this? Why aren't they constantly going after Latin Kings, Crips, Bloods, MS-13 with RICO charges? Seriously. Why aren't they using one of the best tools that they know works against groups like this? I want to know. But instead, they're sitting around dealing with this kind of garbage. This is the kind of lies that they're spreading. And this is the kind of people that are getting protected. This is what the system has been heading towards. You've seen it. You don't even have to believe me. You can go do your own research. And the more that you look into it, the more that you got to question yourself as to why this has been allowed to happen for all this time. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Well, hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.